Dave with Family RV down here in Morgan Hill, California. Today we're going to be doing a walkthrough on a Thor 2022 4 Winds model number 23U. So let's get started. All right, one of the first steps you're going to do when you're using your 23U Thor is we're going to hook up the electrical. Now at your campsite, this is probably the first step you're going to want to do. You're going to back up at your campsite, make sure you always have a spotter. We're going to go ahead and plug this guy in the outlet. It's located on the driver's side. It's a 30 amp plug. You're going to see it right here. We're going to go ahead and lift this guy up. Now there's only one way this guy could fit in. You're just going to go ahead and match up the plugs, and we're going to go ahead and push that in. Next, we're going to secure it by twisting this thing on until it's nice and tight. Then we're going to get this end, and you're going to plug it in at your campsite. Now when you plug this in at your campsite, make sure you turn the breakers on. One way to know that you're getting power for this guy is you're going to go back in, you're going to look at the microwave. If the microwave lights are on, that means you're getting power. All right, the second step of setting up your RV after your electrical, you're going to want to hook up your water hose. Now if your campsite is a full hookup, that means you have electrical, sewer, and water. So we're going to go ahead, if you do have that hookup at the campsite, we're going to come over here to the rear driver's side, and we're going to look at the connection where it says city water connection. We're going to go ahead and take our hose. We're going to put this end into the city water. We're going to go ahead and screw that on nice and tight counterclockwise. Make sure it's tight. Then we're going to take the other end, which is equipped with a water pressure regulator. We've got to make sure this water pressure regulator is on here. It regulates the pressure of the water going inside the vehicle. If this water pressure regulator is not on, it can damage the pipes, too much pressure. So we're just going to make sure this guy is on. Then we're going to go to your water source at your campsite. We're going to go ahead and screw this guy on, and then we're going to turn the water faucet on. That's going to be your water supply while you're at your campsite. Make sure all the faucets inside are closed before you turn this water on. All right, the third step on hooking up your RV, if you have electrical, sewer, and water, we're going to hook up your sewer hose to this guy. And that's going to be located on the driver's side, closer to the rear, right below the fuel. You're just going to simply open this guy right here, and you're going to notice it says drain outlet, wastewater, sewer connection, and then another instruction right there. So all you're going to do is lift this guy up. We're going to clip this right there to hold that up. We have a black and gray valve. Black is for the toilet. Gray is for your shower and sink. There's two separate tanks on here. The toilet will hold all the waste in the black tank, and then the shower water and the sink water will hold all that waste into the gray tank. Now it's going to have the same exit, so you're only going to have to hook up one hose. And to hook up that hose, we're going to simply come over here. We're going to take this cap off. Never open these valves unless you have a sewer hose connected to it. It's going to be a bad experience if you don't. So to hook it up, you're just going to simply take this cap off. You're going to twist it. Then we're going to grab our sewer hose end, which is going to be like this. And it's going to click right on there like that. You're going to get the other end of the sewer hose, the 90-degree elbow, and you're going to stick it in the ground at your campsite. Now, once you have this hose hooked up, you're going to leave the black and the gray valves closed. Just because you have a sewer connection doesn't mean you can freely open these up. These are gravity-fed tanks. The tanks need to fill up first, and then you can come out and pull. Once your sensor inside, which we're gonna go over there in a little bit, once the sensor reaches about 2/3, then you could come out and you can actually pull the black. The black's gonna come out. Once the black is done, you're gonna go ahead and pull the gray, and gray's gonna help flush out the hose. Now remember, you're gonna leave the valves closed. Don't open them, because then this is gonna trickle down and make a bigger mess. When you are finished dumping the black, your sensor inside may still read 1/3 or 2/3. There are sensors inside the black tank that sometimes paper gets stuck to, and it'll act as if it's full when it's not. That's why we have a 90-degree clear elbow on here, so you can see the waste coming out. Now, when that happens, we have over here what's called a Santi Flush. The Santi Flush is to clean out the black tank. You're simply just gonna take this guy off. You're gonna hook up your water hose to here. It's only a one-way inlet, nothing's gonna come back out. So we're gonna hook up our water hose to this guy. We're gonna make sure our black valve is open. Then we're gonna turn the water on for the Santi Flush, and we're gonna watch the water come out of here. We're gonna verify water's coming out. Once water's coming out of here, we can actually close the black valve for a little bit. Now don't get distracted, because now this is filling up your toilet, and it can come out from the toilet and from the inside if you're not paying attention. So if your sensor is stuck at 1/3, we're probably gonna fill the black tank up to about 2/3. Then we're gonna come over here and we're gonna pull the black again, and the water's gonna come gushing out. If the water's still brown, or if your sensor didn't go down, we can close it again and fill up that tank just a little bit more to about 2/3. Then we're gonna pull it again, and we're gonna do that a couple times till the water comes out clear or until the sensor goes off. Now after you're done doing the Santi Flush, turn the water off, disconnect the hose from the Santi Flush, come back over here and close the valves up, and now you're resetting the tanks for another load. Now when you are disconnecting everything and leaving the campsite, make sure the valves are closed. You're simply just gonna disconnect the hose like this, and we're gonna make sure the cap goes on, like so. All right, so before we take a look inside this 23U, we're gonna go over some outside stuff first. We're gonna start on the passenger side. You're gonna see that there is a compartment right here. This is the only compartment that does not have a lock on it. The reason, this is a propane storage. We'll go ahead and unlock it, and this is where the propane would be filled. Now you have to be propane certified, and you can find some propane fill stations either at your campsite or any other place around that does fill up RVs. So we're gonna go ahead and close this up. Always make sure these are secured lock. We're gonna come over here, we're gonna take a look at the entry door. The entry door has 2 locks. One is a deadbolt, one is a regular lock. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, and this purple square key is gonna be for both locks. So we're gonna go ahead and put this guy in here, and we will lock it like that. Now you notice I had to push the door in. This is a new unit right here. These locks are very secure, so don't break this key. They're very sensitive right here. So if the key doesn't turn, go ahead and help it out, push the door in, and then lock it, okay? So this purple key will be for both locks on the entry door, okay? Now one thing you don't want to do with these keys is you don't want to lock these keys inside the vehicle. So what you probably want to do is you probably want to make sure that you leave one window unlocked inside. I'll show you where that's at. Just in case the keys get locked inside, if you have small children or something and they accidentally close the door and it's locked, you leave one of the windows unlocked so you can slide the window open, and we'll get to that a little bit later. This next key, let's move on over here. Actually, let's talk about this. This is some outlets right here. Now remember, you have to, the RV has to be plugged in, or the generator has to be on to use these. Now if you're plugged in, you do not need the generator on. The generator is only used when you are not able to plug in to give you power. So let's keep moving over here. We got a big storage right here. This one does have a lock on it. It's also got these 2 twist locks right here, just like the propane, but it also has a lock right here. To unlock this one, it's gonna be the gray key that's gonna lock this guy. See how I pushed it in again? It's just a little secure. I'm gonna go ahead and open up this, we'll unlock this, and we're gonna take a look inside the storage. You got a clip up here to help you hold the storage door open, so you don't have to hold it up. And look at this big, spacious storage right here. You got a light, you got a couple lights under here that you can turn on. Now remember to always turn these lights off when you're not using them. So let's take a look in here. Take this guy out. We have underneath here, you got a little bit of storage right here. You also got a drain plug right here. If any liquid ever gets in here, we don't recommend you putting any liquids in here, but it does have a drain plug right there. Go ahead and screw that on. The cool thing about the 23U is it's gonna have a table already in here. So this is actually a table. So you'll just take it out and flip the table legs down, and you have a table for when you're camping. And then make sure you put it back right here, just like so. And then we got some more storage over there. We're gonna go around over here on this back end right here to take a look at that. We're gonna open this guy up right here, put our clip right here so we don't have to hold it up. There we go. And we're gonna take a peek right here, and there's some more storage under there. Now these storages are good because you could put some stuff in there. You can put your clothes bags, whatever in there, and then close it, and then you can put more storage, store more stuff on the top. So that's good. So let's keep moving over here. Let's recap right here. We have the Santi Flush to flush out the black tank that we talked about earlier. We have our city water connection that we hook up right there. If we have a connection for city water, right here we have an outdoor shower. The outdoor shower has a lock. The key for this guy is gonna be this little silver key right here. And we're just gonna open it. And this is what the outdoor shower looks like, similar to the shower on the inside. You got a hot and cold connection right here. You also have this little guy that can swivel out, and you can hook that up right there, okay? Make sure you always secure this back in before you transport the vehicle. We'll stick it in right there. We'll close it up right here, and we'll lock it back into place. All right, so we got our unleaded fuel only. Make sure you put 87 if you're going out to a state where it has 85. Do not put 85 gasoline in this vehicles. You have to put 87 or up. And then down here, we're recapping, this is where our sewer hose goes. We've connected it, we talked about that earlier. Next, we have over here, you're gonna notice there is an exhaust. It is very hot, make sure no kids touch this. This is your furnace exhaust, and I'm gonna show you the furnace is at later on when we go inside. This is the exhaust, it will get hot, so be careful with that. This little guy right here, this door right here, if you see it, this is for us. This is for us to service the refrigerator only. There's no need for it to go in there. This is the hot water access door for service right here. There's no need for anybody to go in there unless we're servicing the water here. Over here, we talked about this earlier, we have our 30 amp electrical connection at your campsite. That's where that's gonna go. Right below that, we have a cable hookup. Now, if you're at your campsite and you have cable, you're gonna provide your own, you'll have to get your own coax cable, hook it up right here, and then at your campsite, you'll hook it up right there. Then we're gonna go inside and we're gonna surf the channels on cable, and we'll get to that a little bit later. Right here, we're gonna see that there is an exhaust for the generator. This also gets hot if you're using the generator, so make sure no kids touch that. We're gonna go ahead and take a peek up in this guy right here. We're gonna open up this, hold it right there. Now, we don't recommend dry camping. If you do so at your own risk, but there is an onboard generator, which means this is fully self-contained. Now this generator, let's say you are dry camping and you have your generator on, but your air conditioning is not going on, but the generator's running, you might have tripped the breaker inside the generator. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna flip these little two tabs up. We're gonna remove the door, and right inside here, I don't know if you can see it, there is a little switch right here. There's a switch. That switch should always be towards you, okay? So let's say you have the, like I said, let's recap. If the generator's on, but your outlets aren't working, your air conditioning's not working, and the generator's running, you might have tripped this right here. It doesn't happen often, but it can happen. Just remember that little switch is right there. Now, if you do take this off, the only reason why you would take it off is to reset that. There's no need to go in here for other than that. Make sure that this door is secured back on nice and tight. And then we'll go ahead and close this and tighten that up. All right, so we're still on the driver's side, and right by the driver door, you're gonna notice there is what says a fresh water connection. This is where you fill up your fresh water. Fresh water means your onboard reservoir. This is so when you are driving and you need to use the toilet to flush, that water is gonna come out of your freshwater tank. Now, to fill this freshwater tank, all you're gonna do is simply twist that cap off. You're gonna stick a water hose right in there, and you're gonna turn the water on. The water's gonna start going in, filling up that tank. When the tank is done filling, you're gonna see a little overflow right here. The water will start coming out. Turn off the water immediately, and you're done filling up your freshwater tank. All right, let's start taking a look inside the 23U. As you walk into the entry door to your left, you're gonna notice there are some stuff right here, and we're gonna go through them. Now I'm gonna hit the 2 light switches. These are 2 light switches right here. They will be labeled later on. They're black switches. They turn on. That's a step light. It actually turns on the light down here. And then the second switch up here, you can see that right there. There we go. Is going to turn on the entry lights inside. Let's take a look right here. We got some switches right here. They're labeled awning light, and another step light that's underneath the vehicle. So let's go ahead and push the awning out. So we're going to hold this down. We're going to hold the button down until the awning comes out. We're going to pull the awning out until a little flap comes down. When that flap comes down, that's where we're going to stop. You got to remember, this awning is not windproof and it is not rainproof. Use your good judgment, bring it in. If it's too windy because it can't tear off, then you don't want that. Here comes that flap, and that's as far as the awning goes down. Now, if you wanted to pull this pitch down, there is a pitch right here. You simply just pull this guy down, and it'll give the awning a little pitch. Let's go back over here and do it. We'll pull this guy down, and it gives you that little pitch like that. Okay? That is the awning set up. Make sure you are clear of any trees or anything else before you pull this awning out. Number one question I get asked, Cam, do we have to pull the awning all the way out? No, you do not. So you can pull it out a little bit halfway. But before we pull the awning in, we're gonna make sure that we push this guy back up. And we'll come over here. We'll push this guy back up before we close the awning. And then we're gonna turn on the LED strips up here. That switch is gonna be right over here labeled awning light, and you can have those guys on right there. All right, let's bring in the awning. We're gonna hold the button up. We're gonna always make sure that that flap is coming towards you. This is the proper way to roll up the awning. We wanna make sure it gets rolled in like that so the wind rolls right off of the awning. Now be careful with any trees when you're driving this vehicle. The awning will get scraped if you hit trees and it can damage it, so be careful with that. We're just gonna keep holding this button up until the awning closes. We'll go ahead and turn off the awning light right now. And it takes a couple of minutes. And that is locked and that's secure right there. Next, down here at these configurations, you're gonna notice that there is this dial right here. We're gonna always leave this on. This is a battery disconnect. If you turn this off, everything will go off and you'll have no power in the coach. This is for only when we're storing the vehicle. We turn it off, disconnects the battery. This needs to be on. Once the vehicle starts, your batteries will start charging if this is on. Once it's off, like I said, you won't get any power. Down here, we have a solar control panel that just does its own thing. There's no need to touch this. No, don't mess with any of the controls or anything. It just does its own thing. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the control panel right over here at the entry to your left when you walk in. All right, so we got a lot of stuff going on here. We have a generator start and stop with the hours of the generator. These are our tank levels. LPG is liquid propane. Right now it's reading that it's empty. Our battery life, it's reading that our battery life for our house batteries is at 2/3. Our fresh water tank that we just filled up is reading also empty right now. Once we fill it up, all lights will go on, it'll read full. Our black tank, which is our toilet waste, is empty, and our gray tank, which is our shower and sink wastewater, is also empty. So all you do is push these buttons and those lights are gonna go on. It's gonna tell you the levels of where they're at. Empty, 1/3, 2/3 full, okay? Water pump. This water pump, if you're on the road and you need to pull over and someone needs to use the toilet, they need to flush. What you're gonna do is you're gonna turn your water pump on, and that water pump will pump the water out of the fresh water tank. That's your onboard reservoir, that's your water supply, okay? Now, once you're done using the water, always remember to turn the water pump off. We don't need it on while you're driving. When you are stationary at a campsite and you're hooked up to a water supply on the exterior of the RV, you do not need the water pump on. The water pump stays off if you're connected to a hose outside. It's either or. You're either using the water hose outside for the water supply, or you're going to be using your onboard reservoir. Water heater. Okay, there's two sides to the water heater. You can either heat up the water heater on LP, which is propane gas, or 110. If you're at a campsite and you're plugged into your 30 amp plug, you're gonna wanna use the 110 water heater. You're gonna give it about 20 to 30 minutes, okay, for both sides. If you are not plugged into a 30 amp plug at a campsite, and you need hot water, and you're not hooked up to a hose either, you're gonna turn your water pump on and you're gonna turn your LP gas on, okay? So this is basically dry camping, and this is actually for hookups only. Make sure you turn everything off when it's not in use. Let's talk about this generator right here. Now the generator, 4 things on this coach will not work unless you're plugged into your 30 amp cord on the exterior, or unless the generator's on. So 4 things won't work. That's gonna be the TV, if equipped, the air conditioning in the back, the microwave, and any electrical outlets will not work unless you're plugged in or unless the generator's on. If you are plugged into a campsite, you do not need to use the generator at all. But to start the generator, you're gonna hold the stop button down to prime it. Once it's primed, this red light's gonna go on. You can release it and you're gonna hold the start button down until the generator fully starts, okay? Once you hear the microwave beep, if you need to use the generator, once the microwave beeps, that means you can use the air conditioning, the microwave, or any outlets, okay? Now, this generator runs off the same fuel as the tank of the vehicle. So, that's where the gas supply comes from. If you have a full tank and you're running this generator, the generator will shut off once you reach only 1/4 tank of gas. It's a safety feature that allows the generator to shut off so you don't run out of fuel and get stranded everywhere. So the generator, if you only got a 1/4 tank of gas in your vehicle, the generator will not work. So just keep that in mind, okay? Let's keep moving on over here. We're gonna talk about this since we're right here. This is just for extra counter space. All you're gonna do is lift this guy up right here, and you got a little bit more counter space. To release it down, we're gonna go ahead and lift this up and put both our fingers right here and put that guy down nice and easy right there. Let's talk about this chair over here. This is the new 23U chair right here. So you have a passenger chair right here, which is cool. You also got a seat belt for this guy too. Now this guy, right now it's not moving, but it can be moved. Underneath this seat right here, there is a bar. There's one right here. This bar will allow the seat to go back and forth like this if you want to move into a different position. There is another bar right behind the passenger seat that you will push back, and it will allow the seat to swivel. So if you wanted to turn around, that's kind of cool, or you guys are relaxing at the campsite, you can do that. That's pretty cool. And then you can it'll lock back in right there. This is a Dream Dinette, which means this will turn into a bed. So let's turn this into a bed real quick. We're gonna pull this cushion off. We're gonna set them right here. We'll pull the other cushion off. We're gonna set that right here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift these cushions up. We'll lift these guys up like that. We'll set it right there. We'll lift this cushion up right here. We'll set that right there for now. And then we're gonna take a look underneath this table right here. There is a bar. In order to unlock this table, you're gonna pull the bar, and the bar is gonna be facing down. Once that happens, you're gonna get both hands, put them in the middle, and you're gonna push the table down, and that's gonna become your bed. What you're gonna do is you're gonna move this cushion right here. You'll move this cushion right here, and then we'll get the other cushions, and we'll set them into position right here and right here, and that is a bed right there. All right, let's break down this bed real quick. We're gonna put it back up into a dinette table. So once again, we're just gonna go ahead and remove this. We'll set that right there. We'll set this guy right here. And then we're gonna get the cushions. We'll move the cushions back with the seat belts into position right here and right here. We'll move this guy back right there. Fix the seat belts right here. Nice and easy. Nice and easy, and there we go. Now we're gonna pull the table up right here, gently, and then once we get right there, we're gonna use both hands and we're gonna pull it up all the way, and then we're gonna come back under here, and we're gonna make sure the bar locks in right there, and that's secure. Then we'll put the backings back on, set them back down right here, and we'll put this guy on. Now before we put this guy on, I want you guys to take a look. We're gonna take a look right here. This is the child safety anchor. So if you do have a child seat, the anchor would go right there. All right, we're gonna talk about this overcab bunk right here. There's a cushion right here and there's a ladder. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and remove the ladder for now. We'll set it to the side right here. Then we're gonna pull this cushion forward like so, and put that down right there. And then we can use the ladder and somebody could sleep up here. Now there is a little bit of storage underneath here, the top bunk right here. If you lift this up, there's some storage. There's also some cup holders back there. There's a window right here, and there's also a vent up here. Now, anytime you are transporting, you want to make sure these vents are closed. It will catch the wind, and they will break off. Okay, so make sure those are secure tight. While we're up here, we're going to talk about the TV. The TV, never grab the TV from here. If you need to swivel the TV, you're going to grab it from the bar, and you could actually swivel it over right there. Okay, we'll turn on the TV right now. We're going to go through the configurations on how to set up the TV. Over here, we got some storage space up here with a little TV booster that we're going to talk about that a little bit later at the end. We're going to show you how to hook up that TV. All right, let's break this down. We're going to remove the ladder. We're going to set it right there. We're going to simply push this cushion up, push it over, and we're going to put the ladder up here. Now we're always going to make sure that the rubber pieces of the ladder are facing the TV, okay? And we'll kind of just throw the ladder back there. There are some Velcro straps on here that can tie the ladder in and to secure the ladder. Up here on the top bunk too, we do have some curtains that just un-Velcro right here to give whoever's sleeping up here some privacy, so that's kind of cool right there too. We'll open up that. There's also a curtain on this side. Let's talk about the overcab, the windshield cover right now. You're going to notice there's a Velcro strip right here. There's another Velcro strip right here underneath the driver window, and there's going to be more Velcro strips all over your hand. So let's put this curtain on. I'll go ahead. This is your privacy curtain for the front. It's got Velcro also on it. It's only got one strip of Velcro. So what we're going to do, we're actually just going to tack that on right there. We'll tack this guy on right there. And then right underneath the visor, there's also a Velcro strip. And it's going to go all the way across. Just like that. And that's what your privacy curtain is going to look like in the front, so nobody can look in. All right? And then you just simply just take this guy right off. Be very gentle with it. And then we'll fold it back up. All right here at the dinette, you're going to notice there is a USB port right here. Now the USB ports are connected directly to the house batteries. So you don't need to be plugged in and you don't need the generator on to use those. So just keep that in mind when you're traveling and you need to charge any tablets or phones or anything, you could actually plug those in. Right above here, we have storage. We're going to open these up right here, storage, storage, and storage. And right below those storage compartments, you'll notice there are some speakers. We'll turn the radio on later and we'll show you how to use that. And there's also some light switches that you just press right there. There's also some more USB ports that are right above the dinette. Let's talk about this window. Now remember earlier when I was telling you not to lock the keys inside? Well, this is where you're going to probably want to leave this window unlocked. These blinds just go up nice and easy like that. This is also the emergency exit, the red one right here. So what I usually do is I just go ahead and unlock this as soon as I'm stationary at my campsite, and I'll leave that unlocked just in case the keys get locked in there. From the outside, you could actually just slide this window open and you could actually access it in case you leave the keys locked in the vehicle. That's going to save you a locksmith fee. All right, let's come on over here to the stove. This is a 3-burner stove. All right, so these blinds will go up. They're metal for the stove. The stove, you're going to lift up the glass top like so. It's going to act as a backsplash for anything too. 3-burner stove. To turn the stove on, any pilots, you're going to simply turn this arrow and match it up with this arrow like so. The red light will go on, and then you're going to push the igniter. There's no propane in it right now, so it's not going to go on. But you'll notice it's sparking, and then it will light. Make sure you always turn these guys off when you're not using them, okay? Now, one thing you want to remember is do not put the glass top down if the stove is still hot. It will shatter the glass. So let's try to remember not to do that. Also, some people have glass stove tops at home, so remember, this is not a glass stove top. Do not turn on any of the burners with the glass down because it will also shatter the glass. All right. So this oven right here, it's equipped. There's a little light right there to give you little effects right there. That's all that is right there. All right. To light the oven, you're actually gonna turn the oven right here. It's gonna say off. You're gonna turn it to the flame, the pilot. And you're actually gonna close this up, and you're gonna push the oven nozzle in, and you're gonna start igniting it. You gotta let a little propane build up in there, but not too much. Be very careful. Start clicking the igniter until you see the pilot in here lit. Once that pilot is lit, you could turn it to whatever temperature you want and it'll light up, and then you can start heating up the oven. Make sure that you always turn it off when you're not using it, and once you turn it off, the pilot light inside the oven will also go off and you'll have to reignite it again. On this guy right here, this is a little drawer underneath the oven. So that's kind of cool to store anything that you want. It's not a warmer, it's just a regular wooden drawer for storage. All right, underneath your dinette over here, you also have some more storage. It's a little drawer right here if you want to store anything. All right, let's talk about this fridge right here. Now this fridge is going to be set up to automatic. So up here, we'll turn it on and we'll push auto. Now what auto means is if you're plugged in, the fridge is going to be running off of electrical. Once you unplug, the fridge automatically switches over to propane to make sure the fridge stays cold while you're driving. Okay, the only way the fridge will start going warm is if you turn it off, and then it'll reset and it'll start having to cool down again. So let's just leave it on auto. You'll never have to touch the fridge. It does its own thing. This is the freezer actually right there, and this is how big the fridge is. Pretty cool. Nice, good sized fridge right here. So right here below the fridge, we got some more storage space. So a drawer right here. Over here we have a deep sink right here, which is kind of cool. Also, you can use this, and if you want to wash dishes or rinse off anything, you're good to go. But this is just like a regular sink at home. Remember, you'll be able to use it as long as you're plugged into city water on the exterior, or if your water pump is on. So right here at the sink, right above, you're going to notice there's 3 switches right here. So let's turn them on and see what they are. One is for a light underneath by the sink and the stove. The next one is to light up some little LED lights that are under here for decorations, kind of cool. And then this one right here is going to be for your fan up here. Now this is for when you're cooking. You got to have this guy opened for the exhaust. Okay, we'll open up this right here. So to turn this fan on, the switch, like I said, it's going to be underneath the cabinet above the sink. There is another switch right here that we're not going to even mess with because it'll just turn it off and it won't control it. So always just use these switches underneath above the sink and you'll be good to go. Remember, just like the other vent, make sure this is closed during transport because it will catch the wind and it can break. Let's go to the bed over here. We got some more USB ports up here to charge phones and stuff. We have storage, and storage back here also. Let me get back here and open those up. So we got storage. Let me turn the light on. storage, storage, and storage. Now this is an emergency exit window, okay? You can slide this window open like this, but do not open up these emergency window latches. You simply pull them out like this, unless it's an emergency. You want to keep these closed unless it's an emergency, then you guys can push the window out. Okay, nice little size bed right here. Same with the window back there. You just kind of lift up the blinds and you can slide the window open. Let's come over here. Right next to the bed, there is a switch right here. Obviously, it's a light switch. And then we have the furnace control right here. Real easy. All you got to do is get the white little dial right here. Turn it to whatever temperature you want it set at. And the furnace is actually going to be right here. And that's going to push out a lot of heat. This thing will get warm in here. So whenever you're not using it, when you're done, make sure you turn this guy off. Okay? The fan will stay on inside the furnace for a couple minutes and then it'll shut off, even though after you shut that off right there. People always ask me, can I have the heater on while I'm driving? Sure you can. It's not going to be a big deal. It does get kind of cold back here, but we're almost into the summer. All right, let's move on to the bathroom over here. Come on in over here. 2 switches on in the bathroom. Light switch and a fan switch. Again, we'll just open this up right here, and this is the exhaust for the bathroom. Again, let's make sure it's always closed during transportation. All right, we're gonna go ahead and shut that fan off so you can hear a little bit better. And then you have another sink over here to wash your hands and stuff. And the toilets. The toilet pedal is right here to flush. Now, if you half-step this guy, you could actually fill the toilet up with a little bit of water, just like at home. Do your business, flush the toilet, make sure the paper goes down. Speaking of paper, only use RV marine paper. Do not use 2-ply paper. The toilet can get clogged, and if it gets clogged, it's going to be on you to get it unclogged. You can't really unclog these toilets with a plunger. You would have to get some kind of stick, not a tree stick, nothing that's going to get stuck in there, probably like a broomstick, and actually just push the paper down. That's worst case scenario. If it does get clogged, just make sure the paper goes down and you'll be fine on this guy. Let's take a look at the shower back here. Really cool shower. Just like your home shower, it's got the hot and the cold, but this guy right here actually has what's called a water saver. So unlike your home, you can't take long showers in the RV. For one, the water heater is only 6 gallons, so it's only going to get 6 gallons of hot water, and then it's going to have to reheat again. So to make sure everybody gets a shower, you can kind of just turn the water on, the water comes out, you rinse off, you hit the button, it stops the water, lather up, put the button back on, turn the water on, rinse off, and you're done. Kind of like a military style shower, and you'll be good to go, and it allows everybody to get a hot shower. Let's come back over here to the bedroom. We have a privacy curtain right here if you want to switch it over like that and get some privacy for whoever's sleeping. All right, so right next to the bed on the 23U, you're going to notice this brown box right here. This is where all your breakers and all your fuses are stored. Just going to simply push that guy open like that, and here's all your breakers. Now, sometimes breakers do pop when you have too much power going in. It's a GFI microwave and stuff like that. These are where your fuses are right here. If a fuse is popped, you'll have to pull it out and just check it and replace them. We don't provide extra fuses. You might want to just stop at a auto store and pick up. The majority of them are 15s. So this is where your breakers and your fuses are stored. All right, let's talk about the AC in the 23U. It's right above the dinette right here. This is for the back air conditioning only. You want to go ahead and you can open up this guy right here nice and easy. There's another one over here you could open nice and easy. And this one also nice and easy. It's got the on and off, the off button right here. We're going to simply turn it to this right here. And that's going to adjust the this right here. And there you go. It's going to be pushing out air right here. Now you can also open up this guy right here and push all the air out right there. All right. Go through the TV programming on how to program this TV on cable and over the air stations. Now, remember back outside where I showed you the cable hookup that's right next to the power outlet? Outside, you'll hook up your own coax cable and at the park, and then we'll come in here, we'll turn the TV on. Now, if you want to surf channels on cable, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to open up this storage compartment that's right above the seat, and you're going to see a coax inlet right here. Right next to that coax inlet is a little button, okay, with the green light. If the green light is on, that means you're going to surf the channels over the air. If you have cable at your campsite, you're going to have to come over here and make sure that little green light is off. The green light needs to be off before you can search channels on cable from the campsite. After we do that, we're going to come on over here. Let's take a look at this remote control. We're actually going to go to source, and we're going to put the TV. We're going to select TV, the source, and then we're going to go to menu, and we're going to use the arrows to scroll down to channel. Then we're going to scroll down to where it says air and cable. Now remember, if you're hooked up to cable, we're going to switch this to cable before we start scanning the channels. So let's recap. Your cable on the exterior of the RV is connected with the coax to the campsite cable. We're going to turn off the green button, and then we're going to come over here and set the channel, the cable. We're going to set it on cable. Then we're going to scroll down to auto scan, and we're going to start the scan, and we're going to start scanning on channels for cable. Now, if there is no cable connection and you just want to get over the air channels, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the green light on. We're going to come back to menu. We're going to scroll to the channels again. We're going to scroll to air and cable. We're going to switch it to over the air. And then we're going to auto scan it and start scan. And that's going to start scanning channels over the air. All right, so in the storage compartment where the cable and the TVs are hooked up, you're going to notice there is an HDMI plug. So you can bring your own external DVD player or any kind of device. It's actually you're gonna use this HDMI hookup right there, and then you got a couple of electrical outlets that you can plug in your devices and stuff right there that you could actually hook up to the TV. All right, so one thing we're gonna remember, we're in the front cab of the 23U right now. This radio right here actually runs off of the house batteries, which means if you are dry camping and this radio is on, it is actually draining your battery. Okay, so remember that. Always shut it off. Let's turn it to the station. Okay, we're gonna turn that down. So to get to all the menu, you're gonna hit the home button right here. It's a touchscreen. You have your radio, Sirius XM radio, which may be non-op. USB mirror, that is to mirror whatever's on your phone to this screen right here. You have to have a special hookup for that. So that might not be non-op. And USB port, which is down here or right here. I think this, actually the USB port's on this guy's right here. If you want to plug in your phone right there for music. Bluetooth. You're going to hit that Bluetooth right there. You're going to search your phone, and it should be the first one that pops up. If it asks for a code to connect your Bluetooth, you're actually going to use the code 1234 or just 4 zeros, and your phone should connect. Not all phones are compatible, so you got to remember that. Let's go back right here. Same with Bluetooth music. All right. The next option right here is rear camera. So let's go ahead and hit that rear camera. That camera you can have on while you're driving forward. When you're on the road and driving, you can't use your rear view mirror because it's pointless. You can't see the cars behind you, but you could actually turn the camera on, and this is going to act as your rear view mirror. You tap it to go back, hit the home button right there, and then hit the radio or whatever, and then let's go back right here. AV in is non-op. That's just on the screen, and then the settings right there, you can do whatever you want with those. Down here we got some vents. This is just like a regular car for the air conditioning. Remember, the air conditioning in the front cab is separate from the air conditioning in the house. High, low, cool, warm, all the configurations. Your hazard lights are right here. You got a USB port right here, and you also got another plug for other phones right here. The TCS is always we're not gonna mess with that at all, just leave it as is. And then we got a 12-volt plug-in right here, as well another USB port right here. Over here on the driver's side, you got your cruise control, and you got some other configurations right here to scroll. We'll turn the vehicle on. You got some configurations that'll just tell you, press OK. It's going to show you the miles you have left till you're empty. It also shows you the miles per hour that you're going, and then just your trip 1 and trip 2 and stuff like that. It gives you how many miles are on the vehicle, the hours of the vehicle, and then like I said, how much mileage you got till empty. We're gonna shut this back off, and then like I said, your cruise control and all your settings for cruise control are right here, and then your vehicle lights are located right here to the left. You always want to travel with your lights on even during the day to make yourself more visible. You're in a big recreational vehicle, and it just helps people be aware of who you are. There's also an auto right here, but always remember to turn the lights off when you're stationary. And then these 2 buttons right here are to control the brightness of your speedometer lights and stuff right there. I'm going to open up this door right here, and right below here there's an emergency start button right here. Now this emergency start button is in case your chassis battery goes dead. Rule of thumb, always take your keys out of the ignition and your chassis battery won't go dead. If it does accidentally go dead, what you're going to do is you're going to put the key inside the ignition, hold the start button down, and turn the key at the same time you're holding it down, and what it's going to do is it's going to jump you from the house batteries, if your house batteries are charged. Alright, so to adjust your driver's side mirrors and your passenger side mirror, you could actually, if you're sitting down inside the vehicle, this mirror could actually be brought towards you like that. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna move these manually. They're a little stiff. They're very hard to turn. See how I did that? And you kind of move them like that. And you can adjust it up or down. Make sure you're able to see the sides of the vehicle. All right, everybody, thanks for watching our video on our 2022 Thor 4Winds. The model number is a 23U. I'm Dave from Family RV. We're located here in Morgan Hill, California. Remember, we always do rentals, service, and sales, and we also do auto bodies, so give us a call for whatever you need. Till next time, see you later.